I just feel like the luckiest guy in the world that I got to grow up in this beautiful island home, and we get to run around in shorts and bare feet and go play in the ocean 365 days a year without wrestling with wetsuits. And the ocean has been really, really good to me. Growing up on the east side of the island, Makapu and Sandy were 10 and 15 minutes away from where I grew up. And I was a really bad board surfer, and it was before leashes, so I was spending a lot of time swimming and body surfing after my board. And one of my older mentors, Herbie Knudsen, who lived in the neighborhood, he was a lifeguard. He got a pair of fins on me, started dragging me to Sandy Beach, and I just really fell in love with how comfortable I felt in the ocean. Body surfing was an essential component of lifeguarding out at the North Shore. It was a life-saving skill. It just worked hand in hand, one of my favorite pastime with my career, so I felt very fortunate that the two complemented each other so well. A very common practice for lifeguards and the beach boys down at Waikiki to go treasure hunting. And since I've retired about 10 years ago, I've had a lot more time to go treasure hunting. I just got borderline obsessive with the snorkeling and collecting and seeing what's at the bottom of the ocean and pulling these things out of the sea. Whether you're a fisherman, a diver, a surfer, what have you, the conditions got to be right. And the same thing for snorkeling like this. You want the sun to be out, you want enough tide between you and the Vana encrusted reef. So you find the right conditions on the right side of the island. Ideally, it's where a lot of people go surfing and might be losing things. Load up with gloves to grab the reef and layers of lycra and neoprene to stay warm and a stash bag, and kick out and see what the ocean gives you. I'm a surfer, not just a body surfer. I love to board surf also. And I just love the energy that the fins kind of represent to me, of cutting through the ocean, riding waves, paddling back and forth, in and out from the beach to the lineup, back and forth. And Katie and I have found thousands of fins. I can't even imagine how many hours I've spent mast down. You just sort of develop an eye for the right angle, the right sort of shape, the right sort of shadow. And so it's sort of a treasure hunt. It's a hunt. Some of these things, some of the fins just got lost hours ago, day before. We call those freshly laid. There's no limu or coral growing onto those. And others are just totally encrusted and have become sort of part of the reef, and it takes a little wrestling and finagling to get them out of there. But you sort of get a fin eye to spot these things. And watches and credit cards and jewelry and coins and all sorts of weird stuff down there. So it's really only been in the last year or so that I've started applying myself and assembling pieces of what I find. And when I get into the garage, it's like, what fin am I looking for? What piece of wood am I putting it on? I will spend hours with a piece of wood rotating it this way, or this way. And then I'll flip it over and go, is this side more interesting? And if so, is it this way, or this way? And then just trying to find a rhyme or a reason, what sort of flows with that. A color of a fin, the way a fin is encrusted. The color on a fin might match a patch on a piece of worn wood, and try to find sort of a little rhythm or continued pattern there. I can spend hours and hours before I say, this is it. And then I have to sand things and prep the wood and glue it and weigh it and set it all in place. Sometimes you put things down and go, boom, that's it right there. Sometimes I get overly decorative, adding pieces, and it just gets busy and crowded, and there's too much going on. I don't know. I'm so new at this that I'm finding it out every day. I go into the garage and start putting pieces together. I have a hard time with the A word, calling myself an artist, or what I do as art. I feel like Mother Nature is the artist here. I'm just assembling them and showing them, and I bring them back to the surface and dry them out and cure them. and sort of assemble them in a little way. I think there's a story there, a passage of time that I'm trying to tell or reflect with these pieces of work that I'm making. That everything's new and shiny at some point, yet time and Mother Nature sort of takes her toll on all of us, and I really feel it's Mother Nature and the passage of time that is the real artist at work here. I consider myself a retired lifeguard who loves to body surf. I'll let others come up with the label that they want for this.